everybody. Happy Tuesday. What is going on in your world? I hope you're having a good week so far. I'm Kat, the nurse flipper. I am joined, I have to go this way, by Ron, picking and punching my co-host. He is here every week with me. And below us, they have both been on many times before, and we are super excited to have them back on. We have two Las Vegas people. We have Thrifting Vegas and Sonny Las Vegas. So
what are gang signs for?
Peace.
LV.
I don't know. You should make your own sign. A Sonny Las Vegas sign.
Sonny.
So
Reseller cartel sign. Oh, there it is. Gang signs.
Tiffany knows it. See? Tiffany's got it.
I think she just hooked the fish.
All right, I'm going to make Sonny big. Let Sonny tell you a little bit about himself. Sonny is only 120 away from 13,000. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed to Sonny, go give him a subscription and get him to 13,000. I think we could do it before we end tonight. And Tiffany has hit 100,000 since she's been on with us last. So super excited about that.
Thanks to you guys.
We pushed. We had to be that final little push. And I'm going to say this throughout the show. I forgot to tell everybody backstage, but what I would like to do tonight is all the super chats that come in, I want to donate them to Dalton School for the 5th graders to go to Washington, D.C. So they've been doing tons of fundraisers. And I didn't want to ask how far they were because I didn't want to tip them off to me bringing some to go into that fund. So they're having a cake sale tomorrow night. So I thought I would bring it then. So whatever super chats we get tonight will go to the school for the Safety Patrol 5th graders for DC. So that'll help the parents not have as much of a financial burden on it. And hopefully we can give them some money, honeys. All right, here is Sonny.
I'm Sonny Las Vegas. I think my hair has grown maybe 5 inches since the last time I've been on here. I gotta jump in with what Kat said and add my 2 cents on this. It's an amazing platform when you apply yourself somewhere and you grow as a person and within a community to do something like help your kid's school, help somebody else's kid's school, help a stranger. And I applaud that. That's really what I've been focusing on for the past 2 years since I've been reselling full time is community. So when I hear about stuff like that, it really reminds me why there's more that I'm learning about reselling that you could do other than find an item, list it, make money. You could do amazing things with just applying yourself and having fun. And one thing that Tiffany, when I was with her last time in person, we went thrifting out at the flea market. She asked me if I had a motto, a slogan of my own, and I didn't have one, but there was one that I've been playing with, and it is something I've been using recently, and it's find what makes you happy. And for me, that's many things. You could make your own definition. I've been reselling since 2017, got into apparel, started getting into jewelry, then glass, and I love glass, and I'm just still finding my way, and I'm glad to come across many of you along the way as well.
Perfect. Here is Miss Tiffany.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tiffany, Thrifting Vegas on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Poshmark, TikTok, and everywhere. Thank you so much. It was the last time I appeared on Kat's show, and Kat and Rod made a big push for me to get to 100,000. And the next morning, I was just in tears, so excited. If you watch my channel, you probably saw that video. I clicked over and I just didn't know what to do. I was so excited. But thank you all, everybody who subscribed, everybody who watches. I really appreciate you all. You know, Sonny brought up a really great point. As thrifters and resellers, we can really choose to make a difference in our community. And it's as small as shopping at your thrift stores, supporting your local businesses and Goodwill. They do so much in the community. People just don't realize just the opportunities they give to people who might not otherwise be able to find employment. And every time I go into my Goodwill, I make a point of saying hello and being friendly and just supporting those people who struggle just to accomplish things we may take for granted, just to have a job, have employment, work with other people. And let's all do our part to support everybody. This community is so kind, so giving, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
Yay, thank you.
Kat, you got a couple?
Yep. I know, 2 of them. I'm going to highlight them. So Miss Phyllis sent us $5. Marsha, will you keep track so we know how much we raised for the kids? First graders are the best, but it's for the 5th graders. It's not for Dalton. It's for his school. But he'll be a 5th grader in 5 years. I think it would be a cool thing to do every year because our school is a charter school. So it's a public school that operates as a private school. So some of the funding is different and things like that, but they're absolutely amazing. My 2 older kids went there. There's only 15 kids in a class, which is super cool. And Dalton's class has 3 teachers at a charter school. It's really, really cool. Shanna sent us $20. That is absolutely amazing. So Miss Shanna, Miss Rachel, and Miss Phyllis, let's give you the pillow fight. Thank you guys so much. Her French ears heard 1st grade. Like, I mean, Dalton and I were just in DC, but we didn't get to do all the fun sightseeing things. Okay, so I have a really long message, and I think Miss Patty is wanting to know if any of us got it and if any of you out there in the audience got it. Yes, it was me and Rod pillow fighting when we were kids. Totally. So Miss Patty said she got a message from Facebook Marketplace that says on December 1st, 2023, Marketplace won't be a channel for shops. So it says distribution of listings on Marketplace will stop and other sales channels will remain open. Facebook and Instagram. It sounds like they're shutting down shops. Did anybody else get this email? I did not, but I'm banned on Marketplace, so they probably wouldn't tell me anything. Did anybody else on the panel get anything or in the chat?
I didn't.
I did not, but I don't have a shop.
So Miss Patty, it doesn't sound like that was like a phishing or a scam email. I hope there was nothing to click in it, but you guys in the chat, let us know if you got anything. Rocks to be me sent $10 too. Thank you so much. She wants the loud dolphin. Okay, I'm going to do it. Let's see if I can find it. There's one that I didn't turn the sound down on.
We can just make
the original, but the sound. I think the Hi, I'm Dalton one is not turned down. Here you go. Or not. Maybe she wants the original, you think? I don't have it with the sound up anymore.
Well, you gotta hurry up because we got so many super chats coming.
Okay, I'm going.
Super chat.
I have to bundle these together, Kat.
What is going on? Yo, let's do 3 in a row. Julie sent us $10. Thank you so much. I don't think anybody from his school watches, so I'm gonna surprise them. I think I'll surprise them. The cake sale is the 9th, so it's in 2 days. Miss Judy sent her first super chat. Thank you so much. And Miss Bridget, I see right after her. So for Miss Bridget, Miss Judy, and Miss Julie, here, let's do the new whale. I like the new whale one. And then the next set of 3 will get Rod. All right, here we go. I really like that new one. I really do. All right. Let's do this. So.
Oops.
Oh, so Missy said she got it, but she didn't read. She just deleted it. She didn't read it. It doesn't sound like there's going to be any change, but it sounds like maybe Facebook shops are going away. KJ sent 5. Let's save for 3, Rod. Will you? So after 2 more. Kimberly sent 2. Do we have one more? Oh, we do. You guys are amazing. Okay. Let's
We're gonna
save
take a
till
break after
5
this one.
before
We're
we
gonna take a
don't
break after
answer
this
any
one, answer some
questions and just
Yeah.
watch dolphins and whales and rod all night.
The Dolphin Show.
Yeah.
It is it's like SeaWorld. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
Miss
there.
In Florida or Texas?
California, San Diego.
Well, crap. Well, come to this one and I'll go with you. Okay. Miss Christie wants to know, when did eBay start taking mailing costs out after sending the payout to my account? Does anybody know the answer to that?
A lot of questions I don't know the answer to right now.
Did that happen when they started doing the direct deposit payments?
Yeah, I think that's when they change over the managed payments.
Yeah.
And then that way, because before you had to either put a credit card or PayPal or something on file, or you can use your funds. Now they automatically got rid of that, and they made the default was going to be your managed payments. So it'd be easier, because they had a lot of sellers that were getting charged fees and getting charged all that stuff at the end of the month, was spending all the money, wasn't managing it properly. So eBay changed it to set it as a default for the community.
So you didn't get a nasty surprise all at once.
Yeah.
So mine doesn't take them though after they send the payout. Like, I have my funds, I just get the once weekly payout, and then it takes it from my funds. So mine's taken before I get the payout.
Yeah. So it just depends when you do your payouts too.
Or threshold,
yeah,
right?
If you do daily, that might happen, I would think.
Yeah. I need to pay more attention to stuff like that, but it's been a while. I thought it might have been something recent.
No, I don't. Now they did. Yeah. So Archie has a good point. So they have just changed to where FedEx and UPS come out when you print the label, whereas before, historically, it hasn't come out until it's delivered.
So it's actually shipped, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So Tiger Owl and Pride, that's how it has been, but I'm not sure when it's effective. It'll come out when you print it, because a lot of people didn't like that surprise. You know, you'd like a week later, you'd have like a debit, especially if it was a big box, which is all I really use the FedEx and UPS for. So you'd get like a $50 charge or something else.
Speaking about that too, is I changed my payments to go through PayPal, because I have my business credit card on there, so I can get rewards points for all my shipping labels. And now if you try to ship UPS and United States Postal Service labels at the same time, they won't now use PayPal. They automatically have to use managed payments to do that. So now I have to print my Postal Service labels separate, and then my UPS or my FedEx labels separate, if you want to, depending how you want to make the payment through it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they changed it, because when they did change it, that's why.
That's good to know for sure. Let's see. Miss Dr. Kimberly Handy wants to know, after you have passed on, is there somebody in your family you hope will take over your eBay business, or do you think it will end with you? We have never had this question, I will say.
Good question. It's not something I've thought about before, but I've also realized my wife's not into reselling. I think lately, after reselling since 2017, she'll like to go. And for those who have been following me and seeing my mother-in-law inside some videos, and she's been away for a while. Well, she's back now, and she'll be inside some of the videos. So I'll get her for some views. She's amazing for that.
Well, as if you watch my channel, you know my son Jake loves to thrift. He's 9 years old, and he's got a really good eye for things. I don't know that he will do it as his main career, because he really wants to be a creator of games. He wants to program the latest and greatest video games, but he does have a good eye for reselling. So you never know, he might just take that up on the side, but for sure he wants to be a YouTuber.
So I knew exactly who's going to take over mine when I bite the big one here. It's going to be whoever my wife sells all my stuff to at 10 cents on the dollar. That's who's going to take over my eBay business. So
I need to outlive you.
I hope Dalton will. Dalton's really interested in it. I know Brooke is not interested in it. Brad definitely would not. He would sell it at 5 cents on a dollar. Like, so he would have it gone. So hopefully for me, Dalton, I hope continues to be interested. Dalton and I went yard sailing this weekend and had fun. So that's my only hope. Otherwise, mine's getting sold cheap and it will be done. Okay.
Chris would probably rent a big U-Haul and take all mine down to Goodwill and say, take it.
Take it back. Take it back. Miss Rachel says, with this crazy busy selling time of the year, how do you manage to balance family, Christmas shopping, and preps for your business?
My wife has helped me out a lot in many things, and I talk about her often. And one thing is keeping up with, say, holidays, to buy gifts in advance and not last minute, so that way you don't have to worry about it. And one thing when it comes to family is always first. I was just in San Diego last week for pretty much the whole week. I was there at SeaWorld, pretty awesome. And somebody brought that up earlier, SeaWorld, and I had to throw that in there. If you are a veteran, I have to get more information, but if you're a veteran, look up veteran SeaWorld free tickets, Google it, you'll find it. I ended up getting 3 tickets to SeaWorld for an adult, 2 adults and a kid. So we ended up giving one to a family member that was there, that was coming from Hawaii over. So look up things like that. This time of the year too, there's going to be a lot of things for veterans. I am a veteran myself, 10.5 years in the Army. So there's a lot of perks to things that you've already worked on. So make sure you're also looking at things like that. The same way you want to bargain, thrift shop, same way you should be doing for yourself for things that you've already worked towards.
We've got some really good questions today, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's always important, not just at the holidays, but throughout the year, to strike a healthy balance between not only your family, but yourself and everything you have to accomplish. And it's especially difficult when you have your own business, because there's the tendency to feel that pressure to work all the time. And you can only do that for so long. You burn out yourself and your family gets sad. So especially at Christmas, I live by my lists. I prioritize everything. And once my kids get home from school, it's their time. Jake has his Krav Maga karate classes. Miley has some tutoring, some extra help. And it's very important to me that I'm there for them. And then after they go to bed, I'm back at it for a couple of hours. And then, I call it a night. I do what I do, and I know Sonny does this too. I tend to schedule work when Chris, my husband, is working as well. And that allows us to have our time. But it's all about planning, and it's all about organization and being kind to yourself. Don't take more on. Again, as humans, we have this tendency to take on more. I can do more, I can do more, I can do more. You don't have to do more. Just find a healthy balance and just, don't overdo it, because you can't sustain it.
I mean, just like you plan for your eBay business or your YouTube channel or anything else, you do the same thing with your family. Family's got to be the most important thing. But one of the beauty about everyone who's full-time is you make your own schedule. So, my wife works as an RN in a hospital, so she works 12+ hour shifts. So those days I'm working probably 12-hour day and stuff like that. The days that she's off, I'm working probably before she sleeps in. I'm working before she gets up. When she's up, we'll go do something, come back. She'll take a nap, or she'll just go watch TV. I'll go work a couple hours, and then we'll hang out together. So we work around it. Like this past weekend was her birthday, so we went to Orlando. We did a weekend getaway, and we went to Epcot and Magic Kingdom. So we had a good time, fun. Now we're back to business, and she'll work next couple of days, and I'll work, and then we'll have a day off and we'll do something again. But you just got to work around it. You just got to have a balance, just like. And I will tell you, and everyone here in the panel can probably agree to this, is we have a lot more time than what we think about. We waste so much time. I mean, just think, you pick up your phone to text somebody, and then you're on Instagram for 15-20 minutes, or on YouTube, or do something. Like, we waste a lot of time throughout the day. So there's a lot more stuff we can actually fit into our schedules, and we just got to plan around it.
Yeah, and so for me, I've also been trying to spend more time with family. I have cut down my whatnot sales to every other day, so we're only doing 3 to 4 a week now instead of 5 or 6. And it's just like everybody said, it's just prioritizing. So like Dalton loves going to the yard sales with me, so we do that on the way to swim practice, and then we did it on the way home. And we might take a weekend. We went to Vegas, and that was split. We definitely went. We went to Red Rock Canyon, and we took Dalton to the Children's Museum. So it's just kind of it's a delicate balance, but you've got to make sure you make time for both and don't let business take over for you. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things. And me saying I'm cutting down whatnot kind of leads into this. And I don't really see a question here, but Miss Lynn said she's walking away after 9 dismal whatnot shows. She's taking a break. So much prep work, so little results. She's concentrating on eBay and Jocelyn's platform. If you guys have not heard, Jocelyn started her own platform. It is called Knickknacks. Both myself and Sonny are sellers on there. And she's accepting applications for sellers, and we'll start approving people November 26th as well. So, Sonny, do you have any like words of wisdom for her on this kind of subject, or no?
Yeah, I would say you're not the only one. For those who are on Whatnot, it's not like other platforms. Let me just stick to Whatnot. But on there, find some friends that you know are also reselling. Work your schedules out, raid one another. As we always say, try to be consistent. Try to see if you could do that weekly, once a week, twice a week, and just change the schedule so it's fair. One person who started last now starts first, or then moves to the middle, and you just rotate. And it really helps out a lot when you have other people help, even if just 2 more, 3 more, having some new buyers and people that join you and follow you may not be purchasing the first time, but they'll see what you're bringing, follow you, and then maybe next time might have something for them. It always changes. And with those items, I have been reselling on Whatnot for a while. One of the biggest things I see people do is not recycle the items that didn't sell. Bring them up, take photos. I had a bad habit of not sharing photos at first. Now I do, and people go in there, items that I had in the very beginning of a show, say an hour to 2 hour show. When I have time for it, somebody go in and say, hey, can you bring back that shirt? When nobody wanted to buy, for example, that one shirt, now there's 2 or 3 people who are interested in a shirt. When it didn't even sell for $1, is now selling for $15 or more, which is nuts. So those little things work out a lot. But also look at other people. If you don't know anybody, see if there are people that mesh with you, and private message them on there as well, and ask them like, hey, would you be interested in doing a raid? And you have kind of the same things that we could help each other out. It's community. If you can't find one, build one.
Absolutely, that's really good advice. For those of you who are not really familiar with how Whatnot works, it's a live auction-based platform, and what Sonny was talking about is having a stream of people. One show finishes, and then what happens is called a raid. You can send all the people that were in your show to the next show, and then when that show ends, they send everybody who is in their show to the next show. And that's a really good way, like Sonny says. Another thing that you can do is stop into as many shows as you can. Be in the chat, participate, make comments, be helpful if you can. If somebody asks a question, answer the question, and take advantage of those sellers who allow you, like Kat does, to, if you have a show coming up, you put flames, or you say my show is there. You do want to wait for them to invite you to advertise. Most of the sellers will give you opportunity at some point, but the more you participate in the community, the more followers you'll get. And another thing that Sonny was saying about bringing pieces back, what I like to do when pieces don't sell is bring them back as a choice. I told Sonny this. So say you've got 5 salt shakers, sets of salt shakers. One person might want one person might want another, and that's going to increase your selling price. So you've got a choice of 5, and then the price will go up because one person wants one and one wants the other. So that's another good thing to try. Don't give up. You don't have to sell things for cheap. You can set your prices. and just participate in the community.
Then I feel your pain. My first couple shows and whatnot were also very decimal. I mean, they were crappy. I barely made any money. I lost money in some shows in the very beginning, so I get it. You have to look at whatnot is a brand new marketplace. It's just like having a brick and mortar store. If you had a brand new store and Walmart was down the road, I mean, you're not gonna be able to compete with some of those bigger stores. So you're gonna have to build your own audience, build your own clientele, and it may take a little time. You got to be creative though too. There's they're talking about doing a raid train. There's talk about I did a free show. I had a bunch of bad shows in a row, and then what I did was I just did a free show and I just gave away everything. I'm not telling you to do that, but I was able to get a couple hundred followers off doing that. You just got to think outside the box when it comes with it. And I know it can be very tough, very difficult. But there's also Facebook groups that are designed for whatnot people. And you can go in there, you can just, say, hey, I'm having a hard time with this. If anyone's doing any raid trains, there's people in there that will let you jump on a raid train. You can go in the different whatnot groups. And I see it happen all the time. If you want to come to mine, I got a bunch scheduled coming up this week, next week. Come and I will promote your whatnot. Anyone who in the chat too, if you guys want to promote your whatnot, I allow you guys to promote all your whatnots in my shows. We will shout out because we're stronger as a community than we are individually. And I know how struggle it is for everyone out there. And, I was fortunate enough to get people to raid me. I got raided last night, Kamala Picker and Harry Tornado, which is a huge blessing. I mean, I can't thank them enough for doing that. But I mean, at the same point in time it's difficult, but, go to other people's chats, be very active. I go and just donate $1 just so that, donate $1 in their chat and, they'll announce your name and get your name out there. But it's tough. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. So don't think that you have to do it, but I wouldn't give up on it. You just need to maybe take a step back, relook at your business plan and how are you doing it and what can you change to be successful. I always like to bring up Flip the World, Chris. He literally went 4 months and lost money on every single show he did. Now he's literally going live from the Goodwill bins 4 times a week. He literally goes, picks out all the items, has a camera set up in Goodwill, which he has permission to do. And he literally stands in the corner, puts the items on camera, shows it to the audience. People buy it. He throws in his cart and then pays for it after. It's brilliant. So things like that, you can think outside the box. You just got to be creative with your thing. Be entertaining. What can you do to get people in there?
Sonny, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to answer different from everybody else and say, I support you quitting. And I will say that because it is in my mind to possibly do so as well. So whatnot is not for everybody. You tried 9 shows. If you feel it is not for you, then don't do it. I don't want to make you feel like you have to do it. I think it's okay to not do it. And it's been working for me for a year, but lately it's not working so much. So I have some amazing, when I say amazing, I mean amazing high-end jewelry coming in and sterling. And I'm going to do that again. And the higher end has seemed like it has held for me, but the costume jewelry has not. So that would be my one suggestion, is that if you did all one type of thing, maybe try something else, because the market, just like any other selling platform, is changing all the time. But if you feel like it's not for you, don't do it. Just don't do it. Put like you said, you're putting your effort into eBay and knickknacks, and that is fine. And so as we have shifted our focus from whatnot back to eBay is now at $15,000 for the month, where eBay had gotten down to $5,000 for the month when we were concentrating on whatnot. So I say, do what works for you. Maybe if you do like whatnot, try selling something else. So I'm going to try my higher end. I'm doing clearance on the costume because it's just not working very well for me anymore. And I don't know if I will ever be brave like Sonny and Tiffany and do breakables. I might. I'm not going to say never. I might. But the costume jewelry for me is just not cutting it anymore. And we lost money on our linen show that I did yesterday. So I feel I feel your feeling. That is what I will say. And yes, you can sell on Marketplace. Oh, that is so cool. You can sell on Marketplace without going live. They do have a
Easy to
Marketplace,
ship.
but I only get like 1 or 2 sales per month from Whatnot's Marketplace. Have you, any of you other guys, gotten sales from the Marketplace not live?
Yeah, I have, and it
Like
was the
how
first day that
frequently?
at least once a week.
Okay.
So with the Marketplace, I have stuff in Poshmark, which I'm getting rid of, and there you could Google Poshmark whatnot, whatever you could put in there, and it'll bring up where you could put your items from Poshmark and it'll transfer over to your Marketplace on whatnot. I did that, and the next day, because I did it in the evening, the next day I had a live in the morning, and then it was later on in that second day I ended up getting a sell for some jeans that I had for $98. I had that listed on Poshmark and all these other platforms through List Perfectly for several weeks, and it sold within a day, pretty much within 24 hours. So it's pretty useful. There's a lot of people too that I've been seeing, because I try to look at whatnot people and people on different platforms, how they're doing it to get some ideas. And there's a handful of people that I've come across on whatnot alone recently where they don't have any auctions. They just have items listed, and you could see the sales on there and reviews. So it's working for them. So you just got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's different for everybody. It depends on you. It depends on what you have. There are a lot of different variables that go into that. I do want to put up Jovial Juggler, and we have gotten some more people in since the beginning. So if you guys did not see or hear, all of the super chats tonight are going towards Dalton School. The 5th graders are trying to raise money to go to DC, the safety patrol. So I want to surprise them on their cake sale day on Thursday, and everything tonight will go to them. So Jovial Juggler, thank you so much. Here's Rod. You get Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Thank you so much. All right, let's see. Miss Jacqueline says, if you only had to pick one reselling site, which one would you pick and why? I'm just thinking for those like me that don't have time to cross list or can't afford cross listing.
Oh man, I'm gonna have, although eBay is my money maker, I would have to go with Whatnot. And you may hear what Kat said. Me and Tiffany at times have like dollar starts. And Kat's been saying that she sells high-end items. You don't have to do dollar starts. Do what you could afford to do. You could have high value items. There's a handful of people I follow too where their items are $40 or more, and they have photos of everything. They have details. They have buy it nows. They have auction settings. You just have to prepare yourself, unlike myself, who is very basic and minimalist, that I could do better if I did those things, and I'm sure anybody else could. But it's really promoting yourself too. On top of that, you want to share your items. You have to believe in social media. It's free advertisement. Follow, like Rod said, there's groups out there. Dom has the group, Whatnot for Resellers, great platform. Go inside there, ask for questions, say, hey, I'm starting my Whatnot. This is my first time. You have a few followers going there, and they'll critique you if you ask for it. Just don't get butthurt about the critiques, because they want to tell you and help you on what to do next, what works for them. So Whatnot's my answer.
If I'm answering for me, because I have a YouTube channel with a solid following, I sell the most on YouTube. I sell from my hauls directly after my shopping trips. I show everything I bought, and then I offer it for sale, and you're invited to email me. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I would definitely say eBay, because it has the biggest reach. eBay is worldwide. It has a massive audience. You can literally find anything, whether you live in a big city or you live out in the country. If you want something, need something, want to add to your collection, just whatever you can think of, 99% of the time you can find it on eBay. And I just find it gives me the biggest bang for my buck and gets my items in front of the most people. So for that reason, I would choose eBay.
Yeah, it's a tough one because with eBay, eBay has been my bread and butter for 20 plus years. And like you said, you can find anything on eBay. You can sell anything on eBay, and you get the most bang for your buck, I think, with eBay. But with Whatnot is getting the fast nickel over the slow dime. So it's a way that any single day, like I can go on Whatnot and probably make more money than I did on eBay that day because I'm going to be turning and burning but I'm going to get probably 60 cents on the dollar. And that's okay if because you make your money in the buy. So, man, that's a tough one. I like both. I think, though, I would have to stick to don't bite the hand that feeds you because eBay has been my lover for many, many years and my one true love. So I think I would stick with eBay just for the fact that, I built my collections off eBay. I built my home off eBay. And, eBay other than Amazon, eBay is the second biggest e-commerce market out there. And I think it's the best way you can put anything up there and you'll find a buyer for it. It might take a while, but I think I have to go with eBay because Whatnot is very limited on their marketplace, what items you can and cannot sell.
So if you asked me this 2 months ago, and I think we did get asked this 2 months ago, and I said Whatnot. However, today I'm telling you I would choose eBay. And Brenda's saying eBay looks bad. So 3 months ago, my eBay was down to about $6,000 a month, which is very, very bad for me. This time last year, we were at $20,000 per month. And I would have said the same thing, but I will tell you, if you find the right items and are sourcing correctly, you will sell. We bought the big lot of designer boxes and we are now at $15,000 for the month on eBay. eBay is up 50% over last month, which was up 50% over the month before. So if you find the right items, eBay will be good. And that means check the sell-through rate, make sure that they are selling before you're buying and listing, and they will sell. Poshmark and Mercari are both up like well over 100% as well. My Posh and Mercari are higher than they have ever been right now. So I would definitely say eBay hands down. And what? Oh, listen, buddy. One sale. No, maybe I got
block that guy. Our girl,
I had 2 sales on Bonanza.
Don't get me started. Bonanza ruined my day today. All right.
Oh, we got an echo.
I literally got a $450 chargeback today from July.
What?
From
on
July,
that one sale?
One big sale. I'd sold a Nintendo Switch and a bunch of games, and they hit me with.
I remember.
Yeah, that one big sale. I was so pumped about it. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to do because right now PayPal opened I got a dispute on Friday through PayPal, and I did delivery confirmation. I took all the necessary steps to protect myself. Signature confirmation, the person signed for it. I have proof that the person signed for it. I submitted my paperwork, and then today I got hit with a chargeback, and they said PayPal was going to dispute it. So I got to figure out what's next. But let's just
the last time I had one through PayPal, I won it and I got my money. I will say, yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to be different for everybody. Personally, selling jewelry on Whatnot, I feel it is now oversaturated, and it doesn't matter how much of a following I have. I'm not selling it. So that's where I have to step up my game and bring better stuff, which is what I intend to do. But in that situation, I might only have 1 or 2 sales a week because I can't find hundreds and hundreds of amazing stuff every single week. So my sales will be less, but hopefully the money will be more than when I was doing 5 sales by only doing 1 or 2. That is the idea. Miss LaDawn sent us $10. Thank you so much. And then Miss Deb sent us $5. We greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. Here is, I'm like trying to decide. Here's your dolphin. I almost said Dalton. It is Dalton, but here's your dolphin.
Hi, I'm Dalton.
He was so little then. He was wee tiny.
He's so little.
He's
he got a lot of
so
attention at
tall,
Boss
though,
Remix.
It's so funny. His poor pants are all like high rise now, like where you see his socks because he's getting taller. So I bought him some pants off Poshmark and Mercari, because he's getting too tall, but then he's skinny. So we have to make sure we get the adjustable waist ones so they don't fall. It's fun. Lawrence wants to know, why can't all platforms be like Bonanza and automatically download listings off eBay? I mean, that would be, is Bonanza owned by eBay? Does anybody in the chat know? Kevin, I think you should know this. Is Bonanza owned by eBay?
I think the Commonwealth Picker actually owns stock in Bonanza.
They might own all of Bonanza for all we know.
Bonanza. He's the only one I know.
Affiliates.
The way he promotes it, he's got to have some kind of financial stake in it.
Yeah, he doesn't. I think it's like inside.
Plays the song for the show.
He says no. The great Kevin says they do not. Missy Me says they are affiliated.
They're maybe affiliated with them, but they're not
owned by them.
Yeah.
I would say too, though. I did forget to say this because Jacqueline said she can't afford cross-listing apps. You might be surprised. And people were saying Flip is free, which it is. I say try one of them, and all of us here are List Perfectly users, but it will pay for itself. It will pay for itself. Try it for a month, and I think you will see results fast enough. And like, we get like this month's been like 3,000 to 4,000 from the other platforms. So yeah, I'll pay $70 a month to make 3,000 or 4,000 more in sales. So try it for a month would be what I would recommend.
Yeah, I mean,
Lisa, we got 2 more super chats. You talk, I'm going to show these, and I won't cut you off.
It's same thing like WorthPoint too, where a lot of people they don't want to spend the $25 for WorthPoint, but you find one item that maybe was underpriced on eBay because people are only looking for the last 90 days, and then you find it on Whatnot selling for a couple $100 more. I mean, it pays for the entire year.
It pays for the year. Yeah,
that's what happened to me with those statues I bought. They bought these Looney Tune motorcycle statues, and they were on eBay for like, people had to like sold comps like $75, and they went on WorthPoint, and they were $200 to $300 a piece. I made a killing off those, but I would never done that if it wasn't for WorthPoint.
Yeah, I just sold a Tiffany ornament in under a week for $275. And I used WorthPoint, and it was trending up. And mine actually will be the highest sold in the last 10 years because there were none available.
Yeah,
I had the only one, and I picked that up on a high bid auction, just that one piece. It's all I bought from the whole auction, but it was a quick, almost $200 profit. So I agree, try it, and I think it might surprise you. Okay, Beachwalker sent a super chat as well, and Miss Wren and Miss Lisa wants a beach scene, so here you go.
Sonny, I saw
the word in my head always changes with what he's saying.
Sonny. I have new ones from when we went down to the beach last month. I need to make a new one with it for
Sonny,
sure.
Cross listing now?
No, I'm not cross listing anymore.
Wow. Okay. Are you focusing all your efforts on eBay now? Whatnot?
eBay and Whatnot. Well, with Jocelyn inviting me over to the knickknacks, that's one, but that's not one I don't think they're cross listing or anytime soon. I was thinking of for those who went to the Boss Reseller Remix, information gets passed and everybody says it, but when you hear it enough times and it sticks and it becomes impactful when you start looking at everything like I was doing. Chaz was talking about making the most of your time. And I was looking at everything and I thought, okay, well, I'm looking at being organized as one of those. And then I started looking at, well, I'm not just organized, getting organized. I'm not organized yet, but getting organized. I also thought, how organized am I online? And I looked at cross-listing. I looked at the best platforms, and eBay was top-notch. So all the other ones that have sales here and there, and they might be on Poshmark, $100, $160 sales, maybe once in a while, wasn't worth it to me. I could sell that on eBay and stay there. And then now I'm saving time from cross listing, because it takes a while when you list throughout certain things. It saves time, but it also takes time. So I just figured it would be best to get rid of it, save some money, apply it to these two things, and now save time to apply it more towards it anyways. Feed the beast, as they say.
Okay.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, I pulled out of Etsy for the same reason. Etsy's harder to cross post to, weren't getting very many sales. So I decreased by one platform. My mom works for me though, and all she can do really is cross post. So if I did that, I would be like chopping my mom off, and I'm definitely not willing to do that. But I did pull Etsy. So I do think that reviewing it occasionally, sometimes some of those platforms are not a good fit for you. You know, I pulled out from Etsy. We were getting sales, like Sonny said, like every now and then, but Etsy has a fee to list where Poshmark and Mercari don't. So I decided to just shut my Etsy store down. So yeah. Scrappy Stamper says they are part-time eBayer and can't get myself to list for the past 2 to 3 weeks, dealing with husband's medical issues and just tired. So besides paying your bills, what motivates you, and any ideas to maybe help her get motivated to list again?
That was a big question at the Boss Reseller Remix, and my same answer is going to be this. Where I started in reselling, my struggles and my relationship with my wife and bumping head financially, not making enough, not finding a job, it was really difficult. And I stepped into a Goodwill. My wife talked to me about it. Within a day or two, the 69-cent item sold for around $20. And from then on, it ended up just being an uphill thing where I'm achieving these things I didn't know I could do. So I don't stop because I don't want to go back and live those moments again of struggling. I'd rather be where I'm at and maintain and be content, which is good where I'm at right now. I just don't want to have those moments again. And those are the hardships that really stung really hard that I don't want to relive.
I think you can be really patient with yourself. You know, it sounds like you're dealing with a lot at the moment. So just be kind to yourself and take some time. And when you're done taking some time, start small. Just have a goal of one item a day. And I think Rod suggested this way back when I was first on the show with you and Kat, Rod. He suggested the night before, pull some items, have them ready on a tray. So when you wake up and you're ready to work, they're there waiting for you. And you don't have to worry about what am I going to list? What shall I pull? Where is everything? They're ready. So you can sit down with your coffee. You've got a couple of items, take some pictures. What I tend to do is I take my pictures and then I can sit on the couch and sit with Chris and sit with the kids and just do my eBay listing on my mobile app. That way I'm with my family. You know, I'm not absent in an office or somewhere. I've got my pictures done and I can just do my listing. It really, don't overthink it. It doesn't take that long to do one listing, or it doesn't have to take that long. But I think you need to be kind to yourself and just take some time and then start with small goals, and you can always build up.
Tiffany, have you tried that? Setting your items up the night before?
Yes.
And
absolutely works. It's a huge difference. It's not overwhelming in the morning.
Yeah, and a big reason for that is I always find myself standing in front of my death pile, just like I use if people have Netflix, you know, you sit in front of your TV and Netflix and you go through and you're like, oh, I want to put on a movie on, and next you know, you're 20 minutes later and you watch you're just flipping through everything, you just don't know what to watch, and then you're like, I'm just going to bed. You know, like it's the same concept where because you stand in front of your death pile, it's so overwhelming because there's so many items to pick. So if you just take your stuff the night before, reset, and not just reset and just put out items, clear your workstation up too, so that when you work, you have a clear area to work the next morning. And it goes a long way because clutter is very demotorizing. You know, it's gonna stop you from doing what you want to do. I would say with your situation here, you know, I don't know your situation, but you're talking about your husband's medical issues. So I'm assuming that you're probably going to a lot of doctor's appointments with them, or maybe traveling with them. And I know me personally, I hate going to the doctor's offices or in the waiting room or sitting there. So if I were you, I would literally have my phone. I would take a bunch of pictures of my phone when I'm in the doctor's office waiting for them. Get 1 or 2 listings done. Make it a game. Before while you eat your breakfast. And when I worked a full-time job, my ultimate goal was to quit and become a full-time reseller. So while I'm eating my breakfast, my goal was to list 3 items. And then I would have a bunch of pictures on my phone, and Kat can relate to this. Kat did it too. But when I was picking a kid up from school, and waiting in line for in the car line, I'm listing 1 or 2 items. On my lunch break at work, list 1 or 2 items. If I find it, if you do it in smaller chunks, you can actually get yourself to list items a lot easier. Sometimes it's overwhelmed when you look at your death pile and you see 200 items there. You don't know what to do. So try to break it down to small chunks. But also too, it sounds like you have a lot of stuff going on with, especially with your husband. You're probably tired. You're probably taking on a lot of extra stress. Like Tiffany said, sometimes you have to look up for yourself. Maybe go to a coffee shop. Just grab yourself a cup of coffee for an hour one day. Take your phone or your laptop with you and just list. Go to the park and sit in the park for a half an hour and just list. Go someplace that you're away from all the chaos, and clear your mind and be able to put yourself in a fresh atmosphere. And that goes a long way as well. I tell that to a lot of people that work from home and get overwhelmed because there are too many distractions there. And just that change of scenery can make a big difference. So you got to find different ways to help motivate yourself to list. For me, I was a pro wrestler for a while, but I also had a corporate job. I was like a bull in a china shop. Imagine having a boss come up and tell me what to do. They're just pick and punching for a reason. Like I can't go back to the atmosphere. So for me, I'm scared that if I don't succeed, I will have to go back and have someone who's less educated than me, or someone who's, less suitable to do my job, to tell me what to do. And I just drives me up a wall. It's crazy. You've all been there. And and also too is like having the freedom to pick and choose my time to do stuff. Like if my wife has off on a Tuesday and wants to go grab coffee or get breakfast together, I can do that because I can work my own schedule, so I don't want to lose that freedom. So that really motivates me and keeps me going. But also too, find ways to challenge yourself, because I'm the type of person that I always have to have a challenge in front of me, because if I don't have a challenge in front of me, I just get lazy. So I always have to set goals or something I'm working to. So maybe you're working to doing something nice for your husband, so you want to, because he's going through all this medical stuff, so now you want to give him a special gift or do something for him. So that could be motivation to get you start listing again. You have to do tricks or things to trick yourself into getting the listing.
Yeah. So I would say number one, that's a crazy echo. If you don't need the money, don't do it. Take a break, be with your husband, and be tired. It's okay to be tired and take a break. However, if you do need the money, and it really sounds to me like you might need the money, I don't know your situation. If you do need the money, then for me, I agree, like setting things out in batches. If you have a lot in the death pile, find something you really like. Because for me, there are some things I like a lot more than I like other things that I might have bought. So finding stuff that I like would help me be motivated to list. I agree with Rod, like going to doctor's appointments, or for me, when I was sitting in traffic at a red light for 5 minutes, that's a great opportunity to list. So the hardest part is to actually get started and do it. And I think once you start doing it, you'll kind of be more in like get on a roll, I guess, to start doing it more. But again, if you don't need the money, I say take a break. If you need a month, if you need 2 months, if you can afford it, take a break, be with your husband, and just rest. And that is perfectly okay. Don't worry about it. If you don't need the money. If you do, another thing that used to always make me excited was going thrifting. Tell yourself, if I list 5 things today, I can go to the thrift store and pick up 3 new things. Don't add to the pile, but like that's the funnest part of this job, right? It's finding things. So reward yourself when you list things by going and finding more things. Cheryl said her husband takes cancer treatment, and she has a pre-packed bag with her notebook and description and pictures on her phone. And she tries to get a couple of listings done during that. So that's a great idea. But again, did she write in here? Do we know?
She did not.
So, yeah. So if you need it, then hopefully we have said some things that'll help. Rod said you could have listed 3 things instead of
Or
listening
Kevin.
to Rod.
Yeah.
Or Kevin
He
said.
makes
Kevin
a
said.
good
Now I
point.
called him Rod.
Yeah, no, he does make a good point. So
Yeah, a lot of people list while they're listening to us too. You know,
Yeah.
put on a podcast that you like. And I've been listening to decluttering podcasts while I'm decluttering because that motivates me. So maybe listening to us, try and get some listings done, and hopefully that will help a little bit. Chance wants to know, what was the moment that got you hooked on reselling, the moment when you knew reselling was going to be your job?
It was the same story I was saying earlier. My wife saying I need to look for a job, and she had a job and came back and said her coworkers, some of them do reselling, had no idea what reselling was. She said, well, it's when you go thrifting and get items. I didn't know what thrifting was. I asked what it was. Literally across the street as she's driving, she points and said, like that, a Goodwill. I said, can we go? Walked inside and within a few minutes picked up a little Rust Troll it had the t-shirt too, original t-shirt, and it said, or had the text of happy 60th year anniversary on this little Rust Troll. Got it for 69 cents, sold within a day or two for around 21 bucks. And I knew right there and then. And then the second time rolling over, because it might be a fluke, beginner's luck, as they say, I yelped and had no idea what Yelp was. I was in the military, didn't know what a lot of apps were. There was a Goodwill literally just 2 blocks from me. I walked in and I ended up finding these little around 13 trinkets of Estee Lauder, rhinestone enamel trinkets, which you rarely ever see. And they all had the little paste perfume in it. And with the $21 or so after the fees, that ended up buying those 13 items. One of them sold within 5 minutes of listing after I got home for $475. That's when it sealed the deal of I could do something with this. And at the same time, I started making YouTube videos. So learning who I was too, how to speak, how to understand myself for people to understand me, went hand in hand with me of reselling. It's not just I jumped on here and knew what I was doing, had no idea what I was doing. So it's taught me more than just reselling.
Well, there's 2 separate questions here for me. I got hooked on reselling way back in 2002 when my best friend dared me to list an ex-boyfriend's sweatshirt that he had left at my place on eBay. And of course, I'm always one for bets and dares. So I created an account. I listed this Oakley really nice sweatshirt. And gosh, I think it sold for $68, $69, something like that. So that was the moment I was hooked. As far as the moment I knew that reselling was going to be my main gig, I was a marketing manager for a firm here in Las Vegas and lost my job in 2014. And I thought, I don't want to go back and be told what to do and eventually fired again. So I'm just going to take what I've learned, these 12 years and make it my own. And that's what I did.
So my mom always tells me a story. When I was younger, I was in elementary school. I guess when I used to walk home, there was a corner shop, and I used to go in there and buy candy for a penny. And she said that one time the principal called because I was flipping candy at school to the kids on the bus and in the classroom. So apparently it's always been in my blood. But I would say growing up, I'm a 3rd generation picker. So my grandparents would go to, my grandmother volunteered at a local church thrift store, and she would find some items there. And then her and my grandfather would go to like the flea market and would just set up the flea market a lot. So I used to tag along and sell some sports cards there. Didn't think anything of it, but I had fun. And my dad had a hauling and tree service business. So in the summertime, cutting down trees, but we would also clear out houses. And he would find all kind of items and just take it to a local auction house, and they would just sell, stuff they were clearing out. But, so I kind of had a little itch right there, but it wasn't until when I was in high school, I was working with my dad, I wanted to buy like some toys and some wrestling tapes and some other things. But, we weren't rich growing up. I just, I had to work hard for everything I got. And as you know, anyone who here collecting can be very expensive, because as you start getting the items you like, you start going for the next higher, and you keep it. It's a sickness. And I started started realizing how expensive collecting can get. So what I would do is start looking for lots I could buy, take down I want, and then sell the other ones off. I was paying for my collection, and that kind of got the ball rolling for me. And then I started buying more to get my bigger and bigger my collection got. And then I was like, wow, I can actually maybe make some real side money on this. And then that just grew from side money to, matching my day jobs, income, and just grew from there. So I would say since I was a kid, I was always hooked to it and just fell in love with the whole process.
Yeah, and I was Rod too. I was buying big old jars of Sour Heads and Warheads at Sam's and selling them in middle school.
Nice.
I grew up with a brother who was a junker. His house looked like Sanford and Son, and he would buy U-Hauls full of used stuff. Sonny's having his candy. And so I grew up around it. And for me, I don't know if it's hooked on reselling. It's hooked on the hustle and making money. So everybody at work when I was nursing was like, what are you doing now? Because I raised my chickens and I sold chickens, and I raised plants and I sold plants, and I did like lip syncs for a while. They're like, Kat, what are you doing? Like, I always was doing something, some kind of side hustle to make money, always, my whole life. I could never just have a job. So even when I had a job, I had a side hustle in addition to it. So now kind of like the reselling, YouTube's like my side job. I still am doing that. And the moment I knew it was going to be my job is when I had to go back to work when I had Dalton. And I was like, I don't want to leave him. I don't want to go back to work. I'm going to make this work and I will figure it out. And thus far, I have done so. And I will keep pivoting and jumping platforms as much as I need to get the money to stay home, because I want to be home with my family more and be able to do whatever I want whenever I want. And I agree with Rod. I don't really want somebody telling me what to do. I'd rather be the one telling. So yeah, we have two super chats, and then we're going to give stuff away.
Before we move on, I got to ask Tiffany one question. How many ex-boyfriends stuff have you sold since then? I just have to know, because that's the only thing I was thinking in my head. I was like, is this her gimmick? She just starts taking all their stuff at the end and just sells it all off now?
No, I think that was quite a famous story in my circle of friends. So I think that was the only one who was foolish enough to leave something.
We're like, I'm not leaving anything at her house. She'll sell it.
You'd do the same, Kat. You know you would.
Oh, I would. I totally would.
No, Kat would be out there burning it.
Like, don't leave stuff at my house. Even if you're not a boyfriend, if you're a friend, like, don't leave it here. I might. Yeah, if it's not, like, Brad knows if stuff's worth something, like, and I got a knife sharpener in the lot with the boxes, and I'm like, it sells for $150. And I told him to take it. And he knows, like, deep down, I really want to sell it because I know he's not going to sharpen knives that much. And he could have, like, a cheap knife sharpener. And it's still sitting there. I haven't listed it. Maybe I should wrap it for Christmas. I'm glad he doesn't watch me or listen. So maybe I'll just wrap that expensive knife sharpener. Maybe he'll forget if I'm lucky. Be like, oh, look at this.
Gifting his own items.
Knife sharpener. Yes. Thrifty Treasure sent us $5 for Dalton School. If you're coming late, all of the super chats tonight are going to the the fifth graders at Dalton School for the safety patrol to go to Washington, D.C. And Miss Marsha, who is our main moderator in the chat, sent 25, and she wants the original dolphin. Marsha, tell us a total. We're going to do a giveaway after this. We're going to give away some tape and some poly mailers. Marsha, can you tell me a total, please? Here, Marsha wants the original. Here's the original dolphin. Super chat. All right. Now we are going to give away, I'm going to give away the tape first. I always give away the poly mailers first. So tonight we are going to give away the tape first. So in the chat, hashtag my go-to tape. Rod will fix us. There we go. Yay, $155. That is amazing. Thank you guys so much. Yay. All right, hashtag my go-to tape. Guys, you'll get 6 rolls of tape from Joel at American Bubble Boy. I think I have a couple more links left before I have to go bug Joel for more links for us and tell him the people demand tape.
They sent me a box recently.
Me too.
I want to try out the coffee. I was like, coffee? They got coffee?
Yeah, he does have coffee. He has coffee. He has all kinds of stuff. Let me see what Kevin has learned. Resellers are petulant children who hate to take orders from anyone. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, hit the nail on the head.
We want to be the boss. You're not the boss of me, Kevin. That's
Kevin's
what that
entertainment
means.
tonight.
I mean, we just took Kevin's story and just made it our own.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you've heard his story.
Yeah.
I watched his story unfold.
He put up with children for 21 years, and now he's doesn't want to put up with anybody now. So
he still has a boss, though. I feel like I think Kevin has a boss.
Blue Ridge Mama, she is the boss.
Yeah, she is the boss. She's awesome. Heather is awesome.
She is. Yay, Texas lady sent us $5. Thank you so much. How many entries do we have? 109. I'll give you guys like 30 more seconds. Hashtag my go-to tape.
Who doesn't want free tape, guys? Free
tape. And then I'll give away free poly mailers. You can pick the daisies. Last week, the 2 winners picked the daisies, but you don't have to pick the daisies. You can pick any color you want and any size you want, and they will send it to you. They actually just messaged me, do you have any winners? I'm like, I'm live now. I'll give it away in a minute. They're great. GRO Pack is really great. If I forget to give it away, they're like, why didn't you give away our stuff? I'm like, I'm giving it away. Just give me a minute. They are great. All right, let's go ahead and pick a winner of the tape, and then we'll do 2 winners for the poly mailers. Dun, da, da, da. Who's it gonna be? Marsha. Marsha just started listing again after moving. She sold her house, so Marsha could use some tape, I feel like. All right, let's do poly mailers. If you don't already know this one by now, you should. Hashtag GRO Pack. And on GRO Pack, as well as on the tape at American Bubble Boy, you will get a discount using code the Nurse Flipper. So use code the Nurse Flipper. You will get 5% off tape, 10% off poly mailers. So discount on both of those. And on GRO Pack, you can pick the size, you can pick the color. So if you guys win, you don't have to get daisies. I like the daisies. They're one of my favorite poly mailers, but you don't have to get the daisies. Let me see if there are any comments we can respond. I can answer this one real quick. Do bundles on Mercari have to be approved by the seller? If they pay full price, they do not have to be approved by the seller. And I think you and I were talking, and I want to say this again. I said it on another live. I contacted Mercari support because somebody bought like 5 license plates, which weighed a little over 3.5 pounds. And my label was for 1 pound because 1 license plate is a pound. And Mercari told me to use the 1 pound label and they would pay the difference. Neither the seller or the buyer would be charged. Mercari's shipping account would be charged and nobody would be penalized. So I do want to say that they are aware that there's a flaw in the bundling weight situation and they will cover the difference. The seller nor the buyer has to pay it. So I know that firsthand from asking myself. Let's see. All right. 139. Holy Moses. Okay, let's pick 2 winners. Dun, 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 dun.
Can't see the name.
You can't see the name.
I don't.
Oh, it's hidden. Oh,
Pingy.
That's Ping. You knew who it was. It's Ping G.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ping
California
G.
peeps. Neighbor state.
Ping G mostly sells Disney stuff. Just a random fact for you guys. Ping G is a Disney seller. So if Ping G, go to GRO Pack and pick which color and which size you want, and then email me which one you want. And we're going to pick another winner. We have 145 entries. Let's see who the second winner is. Dun, 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 dun.
Who's it gonna be? Oh, Lucky Jesus wasn't lucky.
Lucky Jesus won like a month ago.
Oh, he was lucky past tense.
He will be lucky again, I bet. All right. So Miss
As Jesus.
Glazell, same thing. Go to GRO Pack, pick what you want, and then you need to email me what you want and email me your mailing address, and they will send it to you. So congrats to all of the winners. Congratulations. And Miss Bonnie has a question, and she wants to know, do you ship internationally, and do you always use track shipping international and domestic? Why or why not?
Track shipping, yes. Internationally, yes. And one thing with the international orders that I get, there's usually a unique number on eBay. Even if they don't ask me to put it in there, it just stands out. And I always write it across several sides of the order just so when it gets to their warehouse, they get it, see it, and it just makes it easier, supposedly, from some messages I got from the people who buy.
I only use eBay's organized global shipping, which means you have to check the little box when you're listing to allow global shipping. And then your responsibility ends when you get it to their hub. It used to be in Kentucky, and now I think they have several. I had a few instances early on where I would send international shipments independently, and several of them got lost, and it ended up costing me money. So now I just rely on eBay's global shipping program, and I just have to get it to the hub, and then anything that happens after it arrives there, I get paid, and it's not my responsibility if something goes wrong.
Yeah, I would say I highly recommend you ship internationally, but do it through the eBay Global Shipping Program if you have any worries, because once, as Tiffany said, I mean, all you have to do is ship it domestically, and they handle all the international shipping. They handle the customs. They handle any issues that you may arise from that. So it is a lot smoother process than shipping it yourself, especially if you're newer to shipping international. There's a lot of steps you would have to go through, and a lot of risk that you go through with yourself. When it comes to tracking shipping, you should track anything you sell on any selling platform. You should track it. And the reason for that here is because how can you determine if that buyer says that item arrives and you don't have tracking on it? That buyer can say it never arrived. Now you have no proof of it. So that's why you want to make sure every single package that you do ship is tracked. And pretty much every shipping that you use will have tracking on it now, which is nice. So you really don't have to worry about that. But unless you're putting a stamp on an envelope and shipping it. But even eBay has, and they're actually expanding the market. I don't know if you know that, but they're actually expanding the market for what you guys ship the I forget, but what's the shipping for the sports cards? What is it called? They use the eBay
envelope. I don't know.
Yeah, the special envelope you can go with because like 56 cents to ship. They're actually expanding that now to other markets too.
Yeah, so I use tracked unless like UShip is not tracked because it's freight, so that would be the only reason I would not use track shipping. And I do ship internationally through the global shipping program. My hair is so poofy. It's cold in Florida. It's like in the 40s. Standard envelope. Yes, thank you, Marsha.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, I do want to put that up there. Julian's less than 2,000 away from hitting 100,000 subscribers, guys. Julian was my co-host here on the show for over 2 years, and he is less than 2,000 away. So just in case you were late getting to the channel and you don't know him, definitely check out Bearded Thrift Machine because he is super close to 100K, and I would love for him to hit that soon. He should hopefully hit it before Christmas. Yes.
So, no.
Rosie in the middle. I know we strive not to create projects, but there are certain items that I acquire that could use a benefit from a good cleaning. For folks who sell linens, do you clean them? And if so, how do you clean?
When I do pick up linens, because I do, I pick them up if I know my basic abilities that I could clean it off. If not, then I don't even bother. I don't want to have any more projects than what I've already put off so far.
I don't sell that many linens, but the ones I do, I generally only buy them if they're in sellable condition, because like Sonny said, I I don't need any more projects, and I don't want to have to deal with it. And I know if I buy it and it needs cleaning, it's just going to sit and sit and sit, because there are things I'd rather be listing. So
Yeah, I don't buy linens, so I'll pass it on to Kat.
And I'm going to surprise you guys and tell you that I have recently started cleaning linens. And I don't typically, like, I get them in lots. So if I'm hand picking them, I'm not going to pick ones with stains, but I actually had some gorgeous ones that had the like storage stains, you know, like the browning and discoloration. And so I read a couple of blog posts, and there's a thing called Restoration. It's on Amazon, and it's actually specifically made for linens, and it works like a charm. And me and Dalton, the past couple of times I've done it, we do it while we're watching football. So you have to pre-soak it for 30 minutes, rinse it, and then you soak it for 6 to 8 hours. So me and Dalton will watch a couple of football games while it's soaking. We rinse it out, and then Dalton wrings them out, hands them to me, and I iron them. So if I wash them, I iron them. And that works well. Jojo's saying baking soda, peroxide, and dish soap works miracles. So Scott, here's the thing that you didn't know, my friend, that all of the super chats tonight are going to the 5th graders, the safety patrol at Dalton School, to their Washington, D.C. trip. So your $5 is going to the children, my friend. So your late fee is well spent. So thank you so much. Let me give, what am I giving Scott? Let's give Scott this one. Here you go. Dun, 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 dun. I actually love ironing. I know you guys might find that very, very strange about me, who does not like to clean things. And I actually just bought a steam cleaner for the house. Ping G, you can pick poly mailer or bubble mailer. Anything on GRO Pack you may pick from, and that will be your price. Whatever you want, my friend, as long as it's in stock. I love ironing. So I just got a steam cleaner because I was cleaning up after kittens, and I wanted it really, really sanitized. So I bought a steam cleaner, and then I ended up doing the baseboard in my hallway. And yes, LaDon says you owe double the late fee, buddy. But I love ironing, and I love mowing the yard. Those are two things that I find like super therapeutic. Ironing and mowing the yard. Yes, I know. And people wouldn't think that that was me. But Sherry wants to know if any of us have actually gotten money back from USPS insurance.
I have
as well.
About 4 claims, and they've all worked out.
Yeah, and I just filed because I paid $65 to ship something express to California, and it arrived a day and a half late, and they're refunding me the $65 shipping fee. So that was approved, and it is on its way. Oh yes, pressure washing. I like that too. I need to pressure wash my shed, speaking of. I love those videos with the yard mowing and the pressure washing.
Yes, me too.
I'll just watch those all day. Like,
I've found myself watching those for half an hour at a time. Like, I love them. Like, what am I doing with my life? But it's relaxing.
One thing about insurance, though, it's a lot easier to get a claim paid if something goes missing or is lost.
Yeah.
Then if it's broken,
something that is broken, they put you through so many hoops. If it arrives broken, the buyer has to take the pieces to the post office and stand in line. So if that happens, I usually just write it off as a loss and refund them.
Yeah, I do the same. So Miss Mary is giving us $20 super chat. She's for the 5th graders and to cover Scott's extra late fee. So she's covering Scott's double late fee. I'm going to give you Yvonne's Mermaids. Yvonne's Mermaids. And Merman. I always forget to say merman. There's a merman in there as well.
Detail. He likes detailing cars.
It's the same thing. I think it's the gratification of seeing the change all in one video, right? Like the time lapse thing, you know? Yeah, I need to do some. I'm going to try and do some. Even if I don't post them, I want to try and do some just for the fun of it.
Our last show, you talked about doing where you're cleaning up your
doing the decluttering. I haven't started the decluttering. Oh, now we got a contest going on. Scott sent $20.01 because he said he will not be outdone. Mary.
The ball is in your court now.
So the decluttering, I folded all my laundry, and this is like super embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you guys anyways. I had like 6 loads of laundry in baskets. We were living out of baskets, and they are all folded now. So I did accomplish that, and I think tomorrow we're going to go through Dalton's toys, which is not going to be fun. He is not going to be happy with me, but he has way too many. Well, I need to find out where like the Salvation Army toy drive is so I can take him with me and we can take the toys so he knows that they're going to kids who need toys, you know? I think then he would be okay because he's like very, very giving. So hopefully that'll lessen the blow, I hope. Jesus wants to know, has anyone heard that eBay is taking down uranium glass listings?
I think Tim over the years talked about that, but there was no true confirmation of the person that posted it and where they got that content from. Since then, it's been about 3 weeks, and I've been looking up uranium glass on eBay, and it's still there. So I don't see why it would be an easy filter to just wipe it all out. So I'm going to say that is a reseller myth.
Yeah, there are hundreds and hundreds of listings of uranium glass up on eBay, and I want to say there's only if someone reports a listing that it might get taken down, but there's definitely not a bulk removal.
What they said.
Okay, so we have a tie for the high bid. Mark came in at $20.02 to outbid Scott, but then Mary came in at the same. So there is now a tie.
No, hold on a minute.
First place.
Ricardo did 25 earlier. She had the highest.
Oh yeah, Marsha is winning. Marsha had 25, so you're all way below. And then Flicker Maple sent $4.99. Thank you guys so much. I'm super excited to give them the money because they have no idea it is coming. And Dalton's not in 5th grade. I just want to help the school because I know that financial burden is probably not fun for a lot of parents. So the more money we can give the school, the less the parents have to pay out of pocket. And Miss Janet sent 10 and said, thank you for the weekly live chats. They are super helpful. Okay, so Bearded Picker, and I want to say hi and thank you for being in the chat. And he rated me on Whatnot last week, so thank you for that as well. I follow him over on Instagram. So definitely check him out. He said in the eBay forums, they're saying uranium glass has been added to hazardous products list. So this is something new. So just something to be aware of. And we need to give you guys a super chat for all of these super chats. So let's do, I don't know. Let's do Dalton. I don't think we've done this one yet. Here you go. Dalton on a dolphin. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I don't do it overly often. I think we did one for Dalton Stalker in the spring. And then we did one for the kids that were injured when a semi hit a school bus. And we raised that was an amazing night. We raised like $1,100 and then Liz perfectly matched it. It was so amazing. So such an amazing community. So thank you guys all for being you and being absolutely amazing.
You're amazing. You wonderful use.
You wonderful use. Miss Patricia says she lives in a new one. What, huh? Miss Gina, thank you. Oh, Miss Mary, thank you so much. I appreciate. I got goosebumps. All right, we're gonna get you guys another one right after we answer Miss Patricia's question. She lives in a small town, and she said Goodwill is not cutting it for sourcing. She doesn't know where to go online or what to buy if she gets there. Any suggestions?
I always tend to look. I like things that are close to me that I could physically go to. I'm just a people-y person that way from the moment I wake up. So I like to look at Facebook Marketplace and offer up. Once in a blue moon, I'll go over to Craigslist and be like, that's why I don't go over to Craigslist anymore. I would look at that and also look up like auctions. There's so much things that are being built after the whole Rona thing that people are trying to make it convenient to sell things and people receive things, especially for resellers, amongst other things. But for resellers, there's quite a bit of stuff out there. You just have to look and ask questions, look at reviews, making sure you're investing in something that isn't something that sounds too good to be true and it not be, because there's those people out there as well.
Absolutely. Also, if you live in a small town, I used to live in a small town in England, and you may know quite a few people. Just put the word out there. Say, hey, I'm a reseller. If you ever have anything that you don't want, would you mind letting me have it? I will donate what I can't use. It's always worth putting that word out. And there is an endless supply of items for resale online. You can source on eBay. You can source on Whatnot. There are high bid auctions. Goodwill has an online store. Everything is at your fingertips. And as far as you saying you don't know what to buy what you know, buy what you like. If you have an eBay store where things are selling, buy more of what's selling. Think outside the box. But definitely, if you're in a small town, just ask your family, friends, people you know, if they have anything they wouldn't mind letting you have.
Also, too, you can look into retail arbitrage. That's something too that if you live in a small town, around your area, something just to keep your eyes open on. I would also say is there's a lot of like Facebook groups in probably locally in your area. Try to connect with other resellers, because every single reseller I know has a death pile, and every single reseller is overwhelmed with extra items they have not listed. So if you can network with some of the resellers in your area, I guarantee you could probably buy some of their backstock or buy some of their death pile. That's always an option there. I know a bunch of resellers locally here do that. Try flea markets. That's another option. If look for a local auction house, because you might be an hour or two away, but sometimes it's worth the drive just so that you can be there and source for 3-4 hours and get a bunch of stuff to bring home that you won't have to worry about sourcing for the next month or two. So I would say try to maybe get out of your small town if possible. Look maybe an hour or two away, because sometimes those trips are worth it to make a day trip out of it, because you may not have to source for a couple of weeks and after that.
There is an owl that sounds like it's right outside the shed. So if you wonder why I'm looking like that, it sounds like it's like on top of the shed. So I live in a small town. Retail arbitrage does not work here. We have one Walmart. That's the only place we can go to, and there's very rarely any good deals. So my sourcing is primarily done online on HiBid. I agree with Tiffany. I've also used eBay. I have used Shop Goodwill. There are Max Sold is another, CT Bids, Proxy Bid, and Tiffany hit the nail on the head. Sell what you know. Yep. Everything you can buy at the thrift store, you can find on online auctions. So I have been mainly buying jewelry on auctions. I've been buying linen. I have been actually adding to my license plates because those are selling well for me. So that's something else I buy. And what I do is so I'll just search nationwide for whatever I'm looking for. And once I find an auction that say they have a jewelry lot that I like, I then will view the whole catalog and look through it and see what else I see. Because if I'm paying for shipping, I would rather buy more things so that the individual cost per item is less. So I look through their whole catalog, and I found some of the best things doing that. And it's not stuff I was looking for, but when I look through the rest of the catalog, I find amazing things. Some of my best buys I have found that way. So we have 3 super chats we need to get. Miss Gina sent $10 and said Dalton is so cute and helped the kids. Thank you so much. And then Miss Mary with her amazing $50 super chat. Thank you so much. And Miss Vicky sent us 5 as well. So thank you guys, all of you that have donated tonight. Thank you so much. Here is, I'm like so confused on which dolphin. All right, I'm giving the whale again. I really like the new whale one. Here you go. And
I like when your photo comes in at the end, like
all of those minus the original ones and the beach ones I made, the ones with Dalton and the pillow fight I made. The rest were all made by Gino's Finds. So Gino, if you're still in here, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Miss Rosie said she loves to go to estate sales for inventory, but they also make me reconsider accumulating stuff in my home. How has reselling changed your perception on the accumulation of stuff?
I am actually working on getting organized. I've been selling quite a bit of stuff for probably 2 months now to clear up my area. And one thing Tiffany was saying earlier, or it might have been Kat, they're both amazing, so it doesn't matter. It was like you buy 5 things, you list more than 5 things. If you have a pile, if you're gonna go out thrifting, don't buy more than what you know you could handle that same day or the following morning. So I'm working on getting organized. I'm being pickier now on what I want to buy and know what I want to profit for. And I'm leaning more towards $40 or more on items that I'm probably spending like $5 or less, depending on what the item is, because you will eventually come across items that are like $150 item easily in profits or sell price, and you say, oh, you know what, I'll invest $20 in that, knowing and understanding sell-through rates and things like that on platforms.
So reselling has really opened my eyes to something, and that is just how much stuff is available. It's unbelievable. If you think about how many thrift stores there are, how many garage sales, estate sales, auctions going on every single day, and you think about all that stuff, it's literally overwhelming. So as far as collecting, I used to collect quite a bit of stuff, from glass animals to vintage pottery to Christmas trees to Disney figurines. And over the years, things are now coming and going much more easily for me. I've thinned out my collections. When one comes in, one will often go out. I'm just a little more fluid. And Whatnot actually has helped me do that, because I like to sell what I love. So if you've been in my Whatnot sales or my YouTube video hauls, you'll see that things I love, like Christmas trees. Why is she selling that Christmas tree? She sells those and she collects those. I'm letting things go. I'm just keeping my very favorites now. I really don't want my kids to be stuck with an amazing mountain of stuff.
Yes.
So anything goes. And you can't hold out for top dollar either. If you have a lot of stuff, be willing to just let it go, sell it through, so you can buy more.
Sell it for a profit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's sad how many people actually pass away and the kids just dump it off. Like, it's crazy. But for me, I would say over the years, what I found is I collect stuff that brings me enjoyment from my childhood. So that's why I like the action figures and some video games, some certain things. But I would say over time, what I enjoy has minimized more and more, because it's just stuff at the end of the day. And, I found myself collecting items just the fact to collect it, and not items that bring me joy. So I would say for me, it's more or less, I like the hunt more than the actual collection. So I found myself getting items, put them on display, and say if I got a whole set of items, you think that would be cherished as my trophy to show off to the world, but it didn't bring me the enjoyment. It's the memories of going to collect those items or where I found them that really, that gave me the enjoyment, not so much the actual item. So I found myself now really dwindling down my personal collection and selling off a lot of it. And it's a lot easier now because I don't have the emotional attachment as I once did. And I think Scott just made a good point here in the chat. He said, reselling has taught me that stuff is stuff. I don't covet anything anymore. And that people in a relationship in your life is really important. The rest is just stuff. And I mean, he hit the nail on the head with that. For me, I'd rather, spend quality time with my family and do things like that. That's more important to me than finding items or having this awesome collection of things anymore. So I guess it's just shifted over time.
Yeah, so for me, it hasn't really been reselling. It's been more of traveling due to reselling and liking all the flat spaces that are in the hotel rooms and Airbnbs that I don't have in my house. And I want it. Sonny
It's horrible,
has
but awesome to say.
Yeah.
Sonny has flat spaces. I don't have flat spaces.
Only downstairs.
Yeah, but I have no downstairs with flat spaces. I have no flat spaces. So that's why I am going to start doing that. I know I said that last week, but I did get the laundry folded. So with progress. And I threw away 2 bags of clothes. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go back to making resin or not, but I had been I called them my resin clothes because they had resin all over them and they were hard and I threw all of them out. I'm like, I do not need them. Throw them away. So if I decide to do resin again, I'm sure make new resin shirts and yeah, but not on purpose. And I agree that like the stuff is stuff. I would much rather do like a trip, for the holidays to go spend and make the memories versus a bunch of stuff. And I think that I'm going to try and do that. We'll see how that works with a 5-year-old who's used to getting a lot of presents. It might be a little rough transition, but I think he will understand because he loves going on the trips and stuff too. And the stuff is just stuff. So yeah, so a lot of like the decluttering stuff I've been listening to is like, what if something happened to you like today? What would you like? My poor family, like I have so much crap, guys. I have so much crap, not just reselling crap, like all of the crap. So think about if something happened to you, if your family had to deal with it, how would they feel with that? So I think that will help motivate you to get a move on. I mean, I like stuff too, but I like
Carla's
flat
gonna
spaces.
burn everything.
Theoretically, I like flat spaces. I don't know because I don't have them, but I think I would like them in my own house. So, yeah. Oh, I think I just accidentally erased the next one. Bad cat.
Uh-oh.
I think I did. And I don't know who it was. Miss Deb wants to know, what rate do you use to promote your listings on eBay?
I was doing promoted listings about a month ago, and then I stopped. I ended up cleaning up all of my eBay, all of my inventory, making sure the stuff that I have listed is up to date, fresher photos, better titles, because I've learned a lot since a lot of times since I started even a few months ago. Now I only have like maybe 90 items, and these are like my go-to items and other things I'm selling or whatnot and other things. So I don't do any more promoted listings. I'm going to do my best not to do that and just have better items to speak for itself, get itself sold.
The key with promoted listings is to take a look and see how many people are selling the same item as you are. If there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items listed, you probably want to get rid of what you've got. So you want to be generous with your percentage. If there are just a few, you probably don't need to promote it unless you're in a hurry to sell it. So I know Kat might disagree with me because she promotes a lot, but I generally just price competitively. And if I look up on eBay when I'm sourcing and there are hundreds of items the same as the one I'm holding, I probably won't buy it. Especially as we've been talking about accumulating inventory and clutter and death piles. It's wisest to be smart in the buy and only source and buy items that you know that you can move pretty quickly based on how many eBay listings there are and how many have sold recently.
You guys heard me preach on this show all the time, is you make your money on the buy, not the sell. So if you're buying at a good price, you have the flexibility to promote it or try to, boost your listing to the top. If it is, there is a lot of competition. Normally, if there's only a few listed on eBay, I won't even promote it, because, if you put a competitive price, you should be automatically promoted right there with the other items there, if you have a good picture and a good title. But I mean, I normally would just use a few percentages, 2 to 3% for mine. I try to just price my items real competitively, and then just add a little extra in there, because just to give a little extra boost to it.
Yeah, and I promote my whole store at trending plus 3%, but I cap it out at 12%. So like jewelry, when I used to do jewelry, I actually would have jewelry at 15 to 20% because there are thousands and thousands. I just did the brooch research video that I did this past weekend. There are 880,000 brooches listed on eBay, guys. 880,000. So when you've got that many, you got to promote high. So that's where buying low and having room to promote high so that it gets seen and gets sold is super important. Jewelry is a hard sell on eBay unless you've got signed pieces. It is not easy to sell on eBay. And it has not been easy lately for me to sell it on Whatnot either. Aaron is now also covering Scott for his extra late fee. And Aaron at Rebel Junks at 2003. Thank you so much. Aaron's old school, so Aaron gets the original one. Here you go.
Super chat.
Kat, you said how many brooches and on what platform?
eBay had 800,000 listed and 160,000 were sold.
That's why the sell-through is so important.
With that, it is important, and that's why keywords are a factor, details, descriptions.
Yeah, so I showed in the video, so then I narrowed it down to Trifari because, if it's a name piece, you can see. And Trifari was actually at like a 38% sell-through rate, which was higher than just a broad brooch search. And then if you got down to like a Trifari pearl brooch, so be specific when you're trying to see the sell-through rate of what you're picking up, because some Trifari brooches probably have a horrible sell-through rate and they're not, like, for some reason the leaf brooches just don't sell well. So I bet if you search that would be a low sell-through. But if you search the crown of jewels, that's probably over 100% sell-through rate. So try and search specifically when you guys are trying to see the sell-through rate of things.
Yeah, you want to mess with keywords, especially the order of them. It's eBay has a great search engine, but at times, like say apparel, t-shirt, you spell out T with the shirt, you put it together, you space it out, or you TEE shirt, you come up with different numbers. But with Trifari, there's also Crown Trifari, but then there's a difference of how good is it on Whatnot for you, and how are people selling it? Are you building your own platform and customer base on there? So there's options there. So don't let it discourage you to say, well, I'm not going to mess with that. If you already have it,
if you keyword jewelry and promote it, you can sell it. You just have to figure out what jewelry is selling and where it's selling. That's the big thing.
Back in the day,
Paula wants to know. Oh, go ahead, Rod. Sorry.
So when you talk about keywords, I used to misspell a lot of keywords that are commonly misspelled, and you can find some good deals on eBay.
I've noticed myself, and like we'll go to ship, and like I miss like putting t-shirt in the title. Brad's like, how did this even sell? You didn't even have t-shirt in the title. Like I get like I'm so worried about like all my other keywords, I forget to put what it actually is. I found a few of those, and some of them I've caught with no space. If you don't have a space there, It's just putting those words together, and the search engine is not going to find it. So looking over your listings occasionally is not a bad idea. I do want to say too, since we're talking about this, my membership, my store listing reviews are this Thursday in 2 days, and I have already posted for you guys to sign up. So if you're in the membership and you didn't see it, go over to the community tab on my YouTube and sign up, because we're doing member reviews on Thursday. And then Hala wanted to know what your license plate should be to resell it. The rule on eBay to sell license plates is they need to be expired for 3 years or more. So technically you could do 2020. I wouldn't do any newer than 2019. You need to make sure you put that it is expired and put the year, or they will pull it down. So 3 years is the official rule on eBay for that.
What's the Facebook rule?
You get banned. That's the Facebook rule. That's why I'm banned for life, because I put them on Facebook. Mercari and Poshmark will let you sell license plates as well. And like I said, I've been buying them. I bought some at an estate sale this weekend. I bought 35 of them from an estate sale in person. That's the first time I ever bought them in person. My other ones all came from online auctions. So that was exciting. And I negotiate. I'm not much of a negotiator. I typically pay what they're asking, or I leave it. But they had 34 of them, and they were $5 originally. And this will be actually on my cats treasure hunting next video. If you guys haven't seen, I started my thrifting channel back up. I put out 2 videos in the last week over there on cats treasure hunting. So go check it out. But so they had 34. They were half off of 5. So that's $2.50. And I normally like to pay 2 or less. And I'm like, if I get them all, can I have them for $2 instead of $2.50? It was, and they gave them to me, so we got 34 more.
Look at you playing
and I was
hardball.
proud of myself. I listen. I'm really like, that's a good price, you know. Really, I probably would have got them for $2.50 if they like held their ground, but it's okay. Absolute fines. Does anybody on the panel have a video on how to make a multi-quantity listing with variation?
No.
Scott, are you still in the chat? Scott,
He is.
Cha-Ching King, do you have a video on how to make a multi-quantity listing? And if you do, can you please put the link in the chat? I think he's still here because I see him chit-chatting. Scott,
He's
do you have
causing trouble.
He does.
I do not.
Here is your answer. You go to Scott has a video on how to do it. It is not something we can tell you over this. But Scott, so go search, and maybe Scott will put a link in for Cha-Ching King variation listing. Yay. I'm choking on my own spit. Desert Fairy said, my nightmare involves item specifics. I'm a nut job for getting that dumb circle to close. What specifics must absolutely be filled out?
I don't remember what specifics. I think it's like there's maybe 5 of them or so, depending on what you're listing. And then there's a line underneath, and I'll put a few of those filled out. Whatever that top part is, I fill it out, and date on the bottom. And I think the California rule, I usually mark that out. And that's it. I don't really fill out every little thing unless I feel it's valuable enough to where I want to make sure that information is in there because of the amount of the item's worth.
Yeah, Sonny got it exactly right. There's 2 boxes. There's the mandatory fields that you need to put something in, and then on the box below there's anything else that you might help people find your listing. You got to sort of think of it logically when you're listing something, and obviously you want people to be able to find your listing. The more fields you fill out, obviously with useful information, eBay is going to put your listing closer to the top, because their goal is to put exactly the item somebody is searching for in front of them. So the more fields that you can fill out to allow them to narrow it down to say, okay, this person wants this, and this matches exactly with what they want. Don't feel like you need to fill out every single field if it doesn't apply, because you're wasting your time. But just think logically, what would help eBay get my item in front of somebody who's looking for it?
Yeah, and it's going to vary per listing, depending what and per category what the items are. So always keep that in mind. But one trick that that always worked well for me is when I'm going to, I always list sell similar. So I'll search from highest to lowest. I'll see who has like a really good title, and when I click on the one that has a really good title, they usually have majority of their item specifics filled out already. So if I do sell similar, all I have to go in there and maybe just change one or two little things in there to match up mine. But there's certain items that you may want to go through and then add other, like, make sure you fill in. Like, for example, if you're selling shoes, I would recommend putting in the European size and putting the other sizes in there where, they're not required, but that will help you probably with selling your pair of shoes. So it's just going to vary based on the item. But I would say the best thing to do is don't reinvent the wheel. Look at someone who has a really good title and sell similar. And most of the time they're going to have a pretty good idea of what's filled out. And they may have extra stuff filled out where you just have to go in there and just quick adjust.
Yeah, and I only do the required. I just went and looked. I have 3,976 that are missing recommended, and I don't care. And normally I'm a stickler for like getting rid of that stuff too, but there is no way because they just put absolutely ridiculousness on there. And so I fill out the required in that top little section. And then if it's pertinent, like vintage, I'll fill out the color, the size. If it's signed, that is something I fill out. And other than that, I just let it go and don't worry about it because I don't worry about it. Victoria wants to know what's the minimum number of listings you do daily and how many relistings?
Before, for many years, I used to do a number amount, as in items, how many items I'm going to list. And then somewhere along the way, about 2 years ago, I think I changed to a dollar amount. I wanted $200 for this. And sometimes that may just be one item. So when I find items like that, I try to do a handful of them up to 600, but never below something. And that sounds like a lot, but when you start buying things and you have these money piles and you start going through them, you realize you already have money sitting there that isn't going to make you a dollar unless you get it listed. So it sounds big and wow, you got $600 items, $500 items. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. They just forget because the thrill of the hunt, what Rod was talking about earlier. So to the question, I focus on a dollar amount, and that's my goal for the day or the week, or if I have an event coming up or something that I want to buy, like a camera. I use my reselling foundation of what I built to get me there rather than just taking it out of my pocket. That really helps me push to keep going and not get lazy about things.
I don't think there's really a hard and fast rule about how many things you have to list. It really depends on your situation. I mean, if you're selling $5 items, you're going to need to list a lot more than if you're selling $100 or $1,000 items. So you really have to focus in on what you enjoy doing, because when you enjoy doing something, you can sustain it. Obviously, it also has to work with the lifestyle you're enjoying. If you have kids, if you have obligations, if you have another job, that is going to factor into the number of listings you do a day. You just have to find what works for you. And I don't think you need to compare yourself or say, if I don't do this many listings, I'm failing. If I had to give advice on it, I would start small. Say I'm going to do 2 listings every single day. And if you achieve that and you find it easy and it balances with your life and you're happy and you're healthy and you're fulfilling all your other obligations, up it to 3, up it to 4, but do it gradually. Don't start in with a big goal. I'm going to do 20 a day and set yourself up for failure, because, that's, you're not going to feel good. You're going to be exhausted and your other obligations will suffer.
Yeah, I think Tiffany really hit the nail on the head. It's going to come down to your business model. If you're part-time, if you're full-time, types of items you're listing. If you're listing high-end items where you may only need to list a couple of those per month because you have a higher, sales price. Where if you're listing common items, like tech and sports, where he's listing, $10, $15 clothes, he's just, he's hammering out 40, 50, 60 listings, 100 listings a day. So it's really going to come down to that. But I say the general rule of thumb, a lot of people always say for eBay, is just try to get a minimum like 5 a day. That's something that you've heard for over the years on that. For me personally, though, I focus more on, I try to get a minimum of 5 a day, but I'm more concerned about dollar amount, like Sonny said, because I do this full time. So I'm trying to get at least $500 per day listed. And because at the end of the day, like if I don't list a high dollar amount on eBay, I mean, I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage. I'm not going to pay my car payments. I can't pay for everything else. So I need to make sure that I have a constant cash flow going where I'm getting enough items listed on eBay. So when those items do sell, I have the cash flow coming in. But if I'm only listing 40 items a day, I'm going to set myself up for failure. So, it really comes down to your business model. You really got to, kind of your situation. But I would say focus on the money amount first, and then the amount of listings can follow that after.
Yeah. So when I was doing it myself, I was doing 5 a day. I had it at 10. I wasn't hitting it. Sonny is telling you to hit the thumbs up. But now I have 2 employees that list for me, and I have to make their drafts go live, and they list 50 a day. That is almost 300 a week. But my business model, I have employees, and so it's completely different from what your typical reseller is going to do. So I went from 5 a day to now I have to do 50 a day to keep up with them. Right now I'm 200 behind them. So I try to do 50 a day to keep up with them, and they don't come on the weekends. So that gives me a little bit of like buffer zone to kind of catch up with them. But when I was doing it myself, I tried to list $500 a day because my goal is to sell 500 a day. And I think that's a really good way to look at it too. Like if you want to make $50 in sales a day, list $50 in items a day, whether that's $5, $10, or $150. So don't say you want to make a certain amount a day. If you're not listing that much, you can't do it. You need to be able to sustain listing that amount of stuff every day. Miss Wildlife wants to know, probably more in the chat. Did any of us go to George's sale in Kentucky? I don't think any of us did. But in the chat, you can answer that. I'm trying to get through these because we only have 3 more. To identify if Miriam Haskell is real, I would recommend looking up certain traits. If it has a Miriam Haskell tag, if it's unnamed, you would need to identify by a book piece. It's not an easy task. I have a Miriam Haskell book and still cannot pinpoint unsigned Miriam Haskell. You might want to have it appraised. Maybe George, the antique nomad, could look, or somebody else that does jewelry. Who does Poshmark? Do you think on Posh, or you can say from your experience in the past with Posh too, do you think you need to list on Poshmark every day?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think you need to list every day, but you need to share your closet every day.
Yeah, I agree with Rod. Sharing is more important than listing. I have a program I use that shares all day and sends offers all day, but my mom only comes in cross post 3 days a week, so I only list to Poshmark 3 days a week. And then last question, then we have a super chat from Miss Sue. I looked this up. What is the California 65 prop? So it requires businesses to provide warnings to Californians about significant exposure to chemicals that cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harm. And it pops up on everything. If you don't know, I would suggest I don't fill it out, because if I don't know, I don't want to put incorrect information. But if your packaging on items has it, I would put whatever your packaging says. Does anybody else have anything to add about the Prop 65?
The only time I seen it come up for me was for a little kid's fishing rod that I found. And I forget what popped up on there. I think it marked it automatically with the information that I had. And I was curious it made me look more into that fishing rod. And it come to find out when I Googled it, it said that it was like lead paint. And immediately I wasn't even trying to push it. It's not worth any harm in taking my account away. So I just chunked it. Removed the listing, the draft, and I demolished the item and made sure nobody messed with it and threw it in the trash. So I wouldn't just mark it off just to get over. Be very careful with stuff like that, regardless of what people say. Your business is your business. Don't let somebody's info take that away from you, and then you point fingers. It'll be too late by then. You don't want that.
All right, so I just asked Marcia to give me an updated total, and Miss Sue sent us $5. Again, all super chats tonight are going to the Safety Patrol 5th graders at my son's school for their Washington, D.C. trip. And hopefully Miss Marcia will give us an updated total. $350. Yay! You guys are awesome. Thank you so, so much. That is greatly appreciated. I'm going to give Miss Sue a dolphin, and then we're all going to tell you guys goodbye. So here you go.
How many subscribers, Sonny?
How many do you need, Sonny?
I'm at 12,889. 12,889.
So Sonny only needs 111 more.
Yeah, that math. I can't math. That's why I'm an artist.
I love math.
I like making money, but I'm not good at
Okay,
math.
Sonny's going big to tell you bye, and then Tiffany, and then me and Rod will. So here is Sonny.
Folks, I appreciate you all spending the time with Kat and myself and my Vegas friend here, Tiffany Thrifting Vegas, amazing person, breaking 100,000 subscribers. I love this community. I love the people that are within my community, and I have so much to learn and grow from. And it's an amazing thing to have the freedom that you work towards. And one thing I wanted to add about how much do you list a day and items like that, I would say look at how much money would make a big difference. $200, $300, and make that your goal. If that's all you want to do, you don't have to do more. You're just trying to live easier, smoother, lighter on your feet. And that's one thing I was focused on, is just keeping it simple, enjoying your life, and not being overwhelmed from taking away your freedom and applying it somewhere else that now you're just back where you started, but making more money, hopefully. I hope y'all follow me and help me reach 13,000 and more. I have so much to offer, so much to find, so much to share.
Perfect. Here is Miss Tiffany.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. There were some amazing questions today. Really, really good. And you guys are so fantastic to support Kat and Dalton School. That's just you. This community is so wonderful. The way we support and help each other. It's just like, it's unlike anything I've ever been involved in, really. Absolutely love what I do. I love sharing my knowledge with you. If you ever have any questions for me, anything you'd like me to address in my videos, please do send me an email. I'm always open to ideas. Thank you to Kat, to Rod, to Sonny for indulging me, having me here, enjoying everything I have to offer you guys. And again, thanks to everybody who got me to 100,000 subscribers. It would be great to get everybody here on this panel to 100,000, wouldn't it? So if you're not subscribed to everybody, please do that for us. And thanks, Kat. I so appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am. Rod, what do you have going on, my friend?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I just hit 10,000 subs, so I appreciate you guys. And I just hit over 2,000 followers on Whatnot. So to get back to the community, at the end of the month, I'm going to do a Whatnot show. I'm going to do everything's free shipping, free items. We're gonna spin the wheel of awesomeness. We're gonna spin the wheel wherever it lands on. I'm giving away vintage clothing. I'm giving away Funko Pops, toys, everything for you guys. So make sure you guys give me a bookmark, and you guys can come promote any of your guys' shows on there. Go check out my new video I dropped today on my Picking and Punching channel. It's absolutely awesome. I bought this incredible collection, and the twist of what happens at the very end of the video is crazy. And people in the comments today, they started to cry. People said other stuff. So go check that out. And then also, if you guys have any questions we don't get to, my DMs are always open. And and
we answered all the questions tonight.
I know. But I have a second channel, Flipping and Punching. I'm trying to get that to 1,000. So if you guys can go give me a follow in there, I appreciate it. So.
Yes, I have my second channel too. Please go follow that, because I'm putting out videos and you have to hold me accountable. That is Kat's Treasure Hunting with K. If you're not following, there are 2 new videos from this week from me thrifting down in Miami with Sam from Jolie Flips. So I hope you guys will come and check out the thrifting videos. I will be on Whatnot tomorrow night with jewelry, $2 clearance on what I have in stock to make room for some amazing stuff coming in. Next week, we have, where did it go? We have Inked Picker. And where am I? And Flippin' Ain't Easy. Both 2 new guests to the panel. So we will have 2 new people here. And
Ink Picker is Alicia,
where
right?
did this go? Yep. Where did it go?
Where did what go?
Where did it go?
What are you looking for?
Oh, here. Vicky from Fab Frenchie Flippers sent me $50 on Zelle and got us to $400, guys.
Awesome.
So we did $400 tonight, which is amazing. I wanted to put that up and tell her thank you. Her and Mr. Bill live close, and they went out on the boat with us. They are amazing. I met them at my first nurse flipper camp. So thank you all on the panel for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody watching and those of you watching back as well. Give everybody a follow. Everybody's links down in the description. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. We are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye for now, guys.